Greetings and salutations, racing car lovers, sports fans, and others. Gather around, little children. Bring your families, one and all. You welcome.
Hola, senor.
Hola.
How are you, my
Hey,
friend?
muchas. Grande, senor.
Where have we been?
Gary, we've been here, we've been there, we've been... Jeez, I like this new studio.
You do?
The lighting, it's unbelievable.
What happened to you at makeup today?
I'll tell you what,
Huh?
they clearly spent too much time on you.
You bring the makeup in now?
Yeah, well, I've got to look pretty.
Sorry, guys. This
Needs-
show
needs a bit of work.
This show is actually called Makeover, and the reason we're
And
going,
you know why?
the reason we're going makeover is exactly like it says on this T-shirt of his. Leave me alone. I know what I'm not doing.
Yeah, but leave me alone. Leave him alone, he's pretty enough. So,
Thank you, man.
there's been a whole lot of stuff that's happened. There's
Make-
been
makeup.
racing all over the world. There's been
What's
moaning and groaning and complaining and whining and which Gary, the crew are there. They've come
They're
to...
sleeping. Damn,
Well-
duck can't take a duck anywhere, can we?
I'm quite impressed with what production has been doing lately.
Just a quick hello to certain important people. Mr. Brett Garland, good evening.
Greetings, how are you, Brett?
Charlotte Renchies, have you finally arrived in Cape Town? Because I know the cars are on the way there, and if you have, just type in a comment saying I'm in Cape Town, I'm still sitting in Florence or wherever you went to go and play.
And Charles, we're waiting for the invite for a sort of a test drive in the Aston. I think it'll be absolutely magnificent, just to share some of the love and the sound and all the rest of it. Promise you.
You know where Charlotte?
I
You know
don't-
where
I
Charlotte
don't
is?
crash. No, I'll give up.
Check this. He's sitting
Gary.
in Doha with the Toyota boys, playing in the desert.
Fine.
Thanks for the invite, brother.
So, production did well.
Hmm.
They understand about 22 font.
How's it, John Craig? Nice
Thank
to
you
see
very
you.
much. Is that Big John Craig or Little John Craig?
John, please tell us which one you are, big or small. And
Because
Brad,
I can't read, and Gary's got all the stuff there, and I can hardly hear.
And Brad, thank you for dialing in. Guys, and Brett Garland, guys, listen, if you've got questions, please ask them. You know, put them in the comments down below here. And,
Gary will read them out, and then we'll try and answer them. But hey, you know what? Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. It's been a very interesting couple of weeks since we were last in studio. And lighting is good, makeup's on the ball, craft is good. Gary,
the Woodward
to
Fra-
the
Fra-
next level.
Are we going? Oh, we're on the next level.
On the
right.
next
Okay,
level.
fine.
So, South Africans abroad, ADAC, Masters, GD3, Vanderlinde boys. Guys are absolutely awesome. These are...
Charles complaining.
Oh.
He says I was with the guys. He's sitting in an airport.
Well,
And it's John Craig Jr.
John Craig Jr.
You know
He's-
him?
I do, because I know John Craig Sr., and I met John Craig Jr. when he was about this big, and the guy's pretty quick.
See what happens, John. See how much the little stuff comes out about your big life.
So ADAC, the Vanderlinde boys, first time ever they're driving for Audi.
Together,
For Motorsport
jointly.
By land. Yeah, we will do this properly. In Oschersleben.
Yes.
Did you see Oschersleben? I can sprechen Sie Deutsch, like eine kleine bit. Anyway, they did really well. Race one, they came third on the road, and then the Lamborghinis, cheaters.
We're being naughty.
Well, they had an extra telemetry box in the car,
Yeah.
so they got kicked out, and our guys got promoted to second, which is absolutely magnificent. So the Videol twins, or Videol boys, they finished second. They had a slow puncher on the left rear, according to all the people.
Yeah. He
which
did
is-
pretty well to keep it on the road. To end up-
Sheldon started,
Yeah.
then Colden took over.
Yeah.
And then they go to race two.
Do you really want to go there?
Well, they went there.
Okay, let's
And
go
then
there.
kids, what did the kids do? They go and play in the sandpit.
No.
Boom.
The eldest kid went to play in the sandpit,
Yeah.
while the little one sat back in the pits
Two laps
with a
in.
bucket of water that Kelvin
Yeah.
couldn't use.
2 laps in, and well, stuff happens. That's motorsport. The thing about sport that is
Yeah.
really cool, Gary,
Yeah.
is that focus. Just get the comments. Okay.
I are.
The thing about sport that makes sport and not just whatever is that you don't know the outcome. You can prepare as much as you want to. You can do all the practice and all the rest of it. and you still don't know the outcome. That's why we watch it, and that's why we participated in it. Right, so that's our Funderlander boys, absolutely magnificent, and they're now off to. Okay, we'll talk about that because the script is there and the script hasn't
No,
rolled.
but hang on
We've
a
got a
second.
teleprompter on the
Yeah,
go
but
at the moment.
hold on a
Fantastic
sec-
production.
Hold on a
Shout out.
second. Okay. The two brothers
Yeah.
are effectively, according to the sheet, they're sitting in 9th and 10th because remember, each car's got two drivers ahead of them.
Yeah.
Okay, but at 18 points, they're actually third on the log.
Yeah.
And young Sheldon in the junior series, he is sitting in and around about, it's going to come up now, I will show you.
Come on, Gary. It actually doesn't matter. You know what? It's still the beginning. It's the fat lady hasn't even warmed up yet. She hasn't even got a costume on. She hasn't even warbled yet.
And
So the thing
Sheldon
about
is sitting-
racing is that it takes a whole
Sheldon is
season.
sitting in P6.
Sheldon is sitting in P6. My
In the junior championship.
And when we talk about junior, like 18 is freaking junior. Right, so what else happened? South Africans abroad. Asia Cup, Jordan Pepper. See the fourth in the Asian Cup Porsches?
Yeah. Did you ever know Nino Venturi?
Nino. Ciao.
Say how's it
Nino.
to Nino? Ciao, Nino.
Nino had the most magnificent Formula Ford workshop in Weinberg.
That's right.
The guy is a legend in Formula Fords.
Yeah.
And more than that, Gary, a legend just in racing. He's a character. He's a true racer. He's got racing petrol in his blood. Just wants to go and race, drink vino, and chow pasta.
So when
Buonasera.
Nino, when are you going to invite us through to your little place out there, that little farm you have this side of the Vaal River, for a bit of pasta and some grappa? I think
So-
that'll go down well. Huh?
No, grappa I don't do. It's like anyway, Gary, focus. We're on motorsports. South Africans abroad. Jordan Pepper, Porsche,
You know your mate Christopher Aberdeen?
Adrian.
He's online.
Is it Adrian or Christopher? Because Christopher Adrian.
You speak to Christopher sitting there.
Adrian.
Adrian.
How's it? Or if it's Christopher Aberdeen, he's running single seaters in Europe.
No, it's his son.
That's Christopher. Adrian is dad, but that's another story. Awesome touring car driver and Porsche 944 Turbo Cup.
Mm-hmm.
There are many legendary stories about back then, but we won't go there. World Superbikes Aragon,
Yeah.
the Chez
There's-
Show, brother,
Arrived
P7.
in town.
Yeah.
He's been off a race bike.
Gary, you know
All right.
about bikes? I
Yeah,
don't know.
he's
I know
been.
nothing.
He hasn't had a ride. He
Yeah.
got. I wouldn't say unceremoniously dumped, but he didn't get a ride this year with the team he was with last year.
Yeah.
So he goes along. Unfortunately, or fortunately for him, somebody got seriously injured. Okay,
And we never wish damages on human beings when they're racing.
and
But
and
it's
his
the way
team,
of the world, eh?
and because of the way he rode last year, his team pulled Sheridan in to stand in for him. Bonjour was, I think of the rider's name just now. What does Sheridan go and do?
wins.
The fastest Kawasaki on the track in the Super 600s. Or
Have
in
you
the-
seen that T-shirt with a K on it? If you don't drive a Kawa Euro,
the family show.
the filters. Did you see them? They went flashing.
So he goes up there, puts it P7. All right, and then below, that's only the one. That's just one South African over there. Then we got another three riding. We got the guys in the Super 300s, Super
I've
Sport,
watched that,
World
eh?
Super Sport 300s.
So there's
And do you know
three-
something? Do you know
yeah.
just quickly before we go to the others? Sheridan was riding under the Portuguese flag,
I saw that. You know,
and a
because-
lot of people have been arming on and asked why.
Gary, why?
Guys, it's actually quite simple.
Because they race under the team's flag.
No. Unfortunately, didn't get support from South Africa, but managed to get support from the Portuguese Motorcycle Federation. Therefore,
So
Sheridan,
you're saying to me that MSA?
I never said that.
What?
He
Hold
said he
on.
never got support from South Africa. I didn't
Right,
bring
moving
in any
along. We're
name.
not going to. Okay, so that is the Chez Show, brother. Moto
Yes.
America, Matthew Scholes.
No, hang on a second. World Super Sport 300s. We have got three
Those
riders
are cool
over there.
because they've got KTM's, Honda, and
Kawasaki.
Kawasaki,
Yeah,
and a
and a couple
Yamaha.
of- yeah.
And it ranges from a 300 to a 500, and they've got an equalizing.
Yeah, they got the whole system worked out there. So
Cool racing. Aragon, that picture.
Darren Larario, get that out right.
Say that after a few cool drinks.
Is that what we were drinking?
No.
Goes out, puts
Water.
He goes out, puts it P3 in race 1. Then we got 2 youngsters that have never been overseas before. A youngster called Dino Liza. If I got your name wrong, I do apologize. He was out there riding. He actually rides for Brad and Nessus in South Africa. Okay, so he's got a bit of Brad support over there. And then we have the next best one, which is Sam Lukov. Now, Sam Lukov rides for a team called, what do you call this thing?
Man, Gary, I love it. I also go blank. Hey? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Hang on a second. You know who manages this team he rides for?
No.
Shares his old man.
It's
Ricky
like
Marais manages this. I'll think of the name
It's
just
like
now,
a
guys.
whole thing.
Yeah,
And I'm
so,
glad-
so you got a South African team manager over
what
there.
is cool is the guys are looking after each other.
That's where it's going. And then we go across the pond.
Yes, because I want to go to the pond. There's some cool racing there. Matthew Scholz, P7 in the Superbikes in America.
Yeah,
You know I like American racing.
I know you do.
I like NASCAR because it was the Kyle show this weekend, Bristol. It's like it's a half-mile oval, 700 horsepower NASCAR. So
How did we
Kyle
go?
Larson-
How did we go from Shares to Carl Lawson?
Oh, we got to America.
No, but let's stick to what we're doing. Here.
Okay.
fine,
So
let's
Shares
go back.
came P7.
No, hang on a second. Hang on. We get to America.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we got to NASCAR,
Yeah.
we got to Motor America.
Yeah,
2
but
South Africans racing over
Gary,
there.
I've got focus issues.
Always. So what happens? Matthew Scholz goes out there, race 1, boom, on the podium.
What a boy.
Okay. Race 2 ends up coming on the podium again. So currently, Matthew Scholz is sitting third
He's
in
riding
the
a
championship.
Kawasaki as well, eh?
No, he's riding a Yamaha for the Yamaha Loop for Westby Yamaha Racing for the guys out there. Thank you, Brad. I really appreciate it. It's Samurai Racing.
Samurai.
Yeah.
Asamoto.
Yeah, so South African.
Konnichiwa, Samurai.
And they're supported by Yacht Racing, which is Yamaha Austria Racing Team.
Was that Brad Nassus there?
No, that was Brad Drew giving us that information. You know who's online with us?
No, I'll give it, Gary.
Mr. BMW Z4. Ricky. Gian Rocco from
Rock-
GNH
Rock-
Transport.
Rock a mama.
That's it.
Rock your mama, Gina. I tell you what, I'm really looking forward to Kyle Army. We understand there was some issues, so it's Cape Town this weekend. GNH Supercars.
Yes.
But we'll talk about that later because we're still going about what happened.
Yes.
Now we still need to go to look in the past and then how important it is and what that matters, and then we go into the future. So can I talk about NASCAR now?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a Kyle and Kyle show. Kyle Larson in the 42 just hammers everybody. Bubba Wallace,
Yeah.
you've heard of Bubba Wallace in the 43 STP car from Richard Petty Racing.
Yeah.
Leads a race. You know, if you've sort of like, and there's stuff happening all the time in NASCAR. It's unbelievable. And 10 laps later, he's sitting in 5th position. Kyle Larson leads, and then of course Kyle Busch.
Your buddy.
Now, I tell you what, he's quick. But the good thing is, he wins it, and because half of America and NASCAR hate him because they love Dale Earnhardt Jr.,
Yeah.
they boo him and all the rest of it. And then, in a great thing, they get together on Dale's podcast and they make peace and move forward. So the Great War between Bush and Earnhardt seems to be over. So that was NASCAR. It was a 2-day because there was so much rain and stuff, and magnificent. Watch it. It's more than just turning left. There's a whole lot of slipping and sliding and rocking and rolling, and they've got air guns and problems with the air guns, and they spend $1 million developing an air gun, and anyway, it got thrown out. But that's another story. We'll get there.
The English have just joined us.
Which one?
Greg Charman. He's sitting in Cheltenham, eating
Well,
pizza.
hello, Greg. How art thou this great and wonderful evening?
Eating pizza.
Oh, well, that's a great English thing. At least he could. Hold on, Gary. The filter. Did you see the filter come down again? Okay, then there's Long Beach IndyCar. We thought of the Grand Prix that Danny Rick
Yeah.
in his own words, was sometimes you got to lick the stamp and send it.
Yeah.
Well, Sebastian Bourdais comes and he licked a whole bunch of stamps, put them
And
in
left
the
them,
mail,
and left them lying on the
boom!
track, and everybody went, woo!
And
And he
there's
just went,
going in 3 cars, passes them around the outside, so IndyCar penalised him. And he gets a bit upset, and he goes back, and they wave the green flag, and he goes and does it again. So he sent a whole bunch of letters that actually make Danny Rick's passes a little bit not so special. So but there was also Long Beach, and now it's a 3-day thing with Long Beach. 190,000 people go and watch the Long Beach Grand Prix.
Yeah.
There's IndyCars, there's IMSA, and you got the Taylor boys having a go. And one of the Taylor boys came second, the other one didn't come second. One was in a Cadillac, and the other one was in a Penske car. So it's great to see all the when you go.
And we got another.
Okay,
We had another
we'll
South
train
African.
them as South Africans.
We had another South African playing over there, Stephen Simpson.
Yeah, but Gary, I missed that, eh? And production, when they were preparing their notes,
Are you going to flash it at the camera?
yeah, look how small it is. I'm going to read this shit. I mean, Gary,
Sorry, guys,
I'm
blue
gonna,
button's not
I
working.
apologize. The filters are a little bit not so greasy. Right, so that was Long Beach. I think and Long Beach are talking to Formula One about having a race there. Have I told you how much I love Formula One? But we'll get to that later. I love
You've got to
Formula
You've got to
One.
be kidding us.
I love it.
If you love it,
I absolutely love it.
While we're on it,
Yeah.
I'm going to make you jump to a couple of points over here because I want to know.
No, the production, the running order, before we get onto there, is
see you guys
biggest
now.
announcement probably to shake up racing for a while is Ford Performance announced yesterday that boom, they're back into Aussie supercars with a Ford Mustang. And what
Is that
means,
going to be built in America or in Australia?
Gary, focus. We were talking about Australia,
Okay.
down under. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So what it means is that the Fusion that the body they're running down there, they can ditch that, and they're going to put from next year they're going to put the Ford Mustang body on it, because you know that in supercars they've gone to a whole lot of new rules where you're allowed 2-door bodies, but there's aero parity and there's engine parity. Engine parity we're not worried about because everybody's staying for the V8s.
Okay.
Chevy, Holden, Opel. It's one of those debates. Shout out to my mate Paul Clark, if you're listening. Paul, PDM from proper race engineer out of PE to Nissan, Datsun, and then Nissan, and he's following the Aussie touring cars.
Focus.
Right, so that's Fords there,
Yeah.
and what they're going to do is they do a whole lot of rundowns and check the drag of the bodies and all the rest of it, so that nobody's got an unfair advantage or a big advantage. So it's all equality, parity racing, they call
Does
it.
that by any chance mean that we could see a body on a South African car somewhere in some series?
If somebody in Ford South Africa had a pair of kahunas, they would move into track racing super freaking fast. There's a subtle hint. Anybody at Ford, get your ass into GDC racing. Right. And the other thing is that Ford are going into
in this show alone.
Ford are going into NASCAR
Bleeps.
with the Mustang.
Yeah.
And so Fusion is out there, and Mustang, Ford Performance have suddenly woken up, and they decided to chuck a whole lot of dollars at motorsport.
You know, it's very big. Okay, carry on.
Last thing was Porsche. What happened?
Porsche.
So Porsche, they decide, Porsche, as we know, have pulled out of WEC, World Endurance Championship
Yeah.
Racing. So they decide, and how cool is this as a company, to let the engineers have a bit of fun, brother. Because all racing is controlled and constrained by a set of rules, which you've got to have. Rules is life, and life is rules.
Yeah.
So they allowed a certain amount of energy, a certain amount of fuel, a certain amount of stuff.
Electricity.
Yep.
Yes.
And the engineers at Porsche say to the WEC team, guys, go and have a bit of fun. It's the farewell tour of the 919.
Yep.
And have a bit of fun and make this thing go fast.
At Spa.
So they went fast at Spa. So they went from... they qualified, the last time they qualified at 1 minute 54 at Spa. and wait for it.
Was
After
that,
they-
was that in one of the World Endurance Series races?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So they qualified on pole at 154. Then they go and they have a bit of fun at Spa. How fast can we go? And they go from 154 to 1 minute 41.7. So that's 14 odd seconds. 14
did you-
seconds in a 3-minute lap.
Did you see?
Unbelievable.
Did you see any footage of that?
I did.
Did you watch him coming
Comes-
down the straight through
Comes
Eau
out of
Rouge?
the hairpin into the out of hairpin. It's bop, 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 bop. It sounds like a motorbike.
into Eau Rouge?
300 Ks now.
Yeesh. That thing
So what did
was
they do to this thing?
flying.
They left all the hardware of the motor and the gearbox and electronic control all the same, and they just allowed a little bit more fuel and a little bit more electricity, and they moved the wing and changed a bit of weight and stuff like that. So they operated outside of the rules, but geez, that car was fast. So we've got some athletes in our staff, in the crew out there. I love seeing them. The chickens are still sleeping. The athletes are moving. So that was Porsche in the 919. Gary,
Yes, I'm
Ben.
right. I'm right, yeah.
I know, but I'm focusing on there's time, constraints. Everything's about constraints. And then there's China.
China, my China.
China. I love Formula One. Did I tell you that before?
Isn't it amazing how a big bull can fly in China?
Yeah, okay. So we start with China, and the thing about racing is that everybody thinks, Mercedes are going to win it, and then Ferrari are going to come next, and I just want to say something else. Can I have a
Yes.
bit of a rant?
Go for it. Clean.
What does that mean?
Whatever you rant about, just keep the S and the S word out of it. But go for it.
Right. So, the thing about being a clown or a performer in any circus is that when the circus dies and you walk around, you're just an oak with funny feet and a big red nose. So if you're a clown, any way involved in the circus, look after the circus. Make sure that the people like the circus. Tell them how good it is. Don't trash the circus when you want to be a clown.
Okay.
There are many clowns in South Africa. They go to anti-social media.
Is that what we're calling it now?
For them, they're freaking antisocial because they whine and they whinge and they moan and they groan. And more than that, they insult people. They insult drivers at Formula One. Now, let me just say something. There is nobody in Formula One who's a bad driver. There are good drivers and there are freaking amazingly good drivers. There is no bad driver. In South Africa at the moment, in comparison, most of the oaks whining and whinging
Yeah.
couldn't drive a grease stick up the
Slowly.
filter.
Slowly.
Yeah, it's
Slowly.
WD-40 in the filter. So, guys, don't trash the circus to feel good about how many posts you've got on Facebook or Twitter
Yeah.
or whatever.
Doesn't make
So,
sense.
Formula One is fantastic. These are technological marvels.
I wonder if
They
half
are-
those guys that are doing all the trashing will know what your next two things you're going to talk about.
An NGUH and an NGUK.
I'm willing to bet
And
none of them will send a comment saying, I know what it is.
So the MGU, or as the English engineers say, H, is the heat one, and the other one is the kinetic one. So, in a nutshell,
What's an MGU?
motor generating unit. But
Okay. Thank you.
let's just make it simple. You've got a normal engine,
Yeah.
ICU, internal combustion unit, like we've got, and they're 1600 V6s. That's all they are. Just twin cam, twin overhead cam, 4 valve, all just like a normal V6 engine. Then on top of that, there's a battery, so there's electricity involved, which is magnificent. I'm a huge fan of electricity cars, and particularly when you bring electricity into normal cars. So now you've got your normal engine, and then on the end of the crank, somehow you stick an electric engine that's connected to battery.
I used to play with one of those things at school.
Scale electric.
As your mate, no. You one mate to hold one end, another mate to hold the other end. You got this little thing
Yeah,
in your
I
hand.
knew
You
that.
wind like this, and it shocks the hell out of it.
Gary, that's not nice. Come on. We're talking about...
Hey,
we're talking
when
about
I
building-
was at school, I didn't have smartphones and this fancy technology. I had to play with things that amazed my mind.
That was such a long
What-
time
what-
ago,
what
Gary.
mind?
Two cans and a piece of string.
Yes.
So now you've got a battery, an MGU K, which is
Yeah.
the kinetic. In other words, it moves. Kinetic is just about moving, so
Yeah,
it
yeah.
rotates round and round and round. But everything rotates, which is stuck on the end of the engine. And that is what the old KERS, or kinetic energy recovery system, that they had in Formula One. So essentially, if you want a little bit more power, you press a button and it connects a circuit, and the electric motor drive, adds in a couple of hundred horsepower, and zing, you go down the straight. So that's the one thing. Then they add a turbo to it. And the really coolest thing ever is that on the end of the turbo, because the turbo is a compressor that's driven, goes zing, pa, 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 zoom, pa. That official sound system came to us from the Benoni Publicity Association. Big shout out to Benoni.
Charlene's going to get upset with you.
Big shout out to Benoni. We love you there, but so you've now got the motor, you've got the kinetic, and you've got the turbo, and then you stick another engine and generator on the end of the turbo. So as the turbo goes around, and they spin to about 130,000 RPM, that drives a shaft which can generate electricity.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, the coolest part about this, you come to a corner, you lift off, and normally in a turbo car, the turbo spools, it slows down. You put your foot down, you get a whole lot of lag. But being the clever oaks that the rocket scientists in Formula One do, is they then, as you start applying the throttle, the electric motor takes some power from the battery and spins the turbo up, so boom, you got instant power.
No more lag.
No more lag.
Okay,
so there's
cool.
no lag. Then the other coolerest
Yeah.
thing. So now you need some electronic jockeys to make all of this stuff work, and that's the engine control unit. And there's, because the battery is DC, and this stuff is AC, DC. Don't get thunderstruck about it. You need the control electronics that convert the AC to the DC and make stuff work. And then when you're going down the straight, because you're now setting it flat out,
Yeah.
and the turbo's spinning and you've got maximum boost, the turbo can't spin anymore. So you turn the motor on the turbo into a generator that makes electricity. And instead of sending it to the battery, you send it straight to the NGUK, the KERS thing. So your exhaust is driving a generator, which drives the motor, which drives the engine thingy, and you go faster down the straight.
Okay, cool. That's
Unbelievable.
fantastic.
But we'll have another one with that.
You see what
Time is
happens when
running
you
by.
ask Colin a complicated question.
So the next thing is, coming up. What's coming up? And why is it important?
No, they're actually busy doing it at the moment.
Yes,
Yes.
that is Toyota Gazoo or
Yeah.
Qatar.
Qatar, Doha.
Qatar, near the Doha circuit, for a 4.52 kilometer. It actually
Blitz.
is round 4 of the FIA Cross Country Cup. This is the prelude to the FIA Cross Country World Championship. So Toyota Gazoo SA Racing have taken 2 cars over there, Joburg cars, and they're running them in conjunction with Overdrive. Overdrive got a whole bunch of cars. You'll remember Overdrive and Gazoo Racing from Dakar earlier this year?
Yeah, been there, done that.
Okay, so they're there.
So Janelle's out there.
So you've got
doing his
Janelle and NASA.
and Rob Howie.
And it's the first time that Rob is navigating for Janelle on an international event.
thing. That's right.
And you've got NASA and Matthew Balmore in the other car. Why is this important? So what's the big deal about this? A, it's FIA Cup. It's a proper race. B, they've got the evolution of the cars from Dakar. Now, and we're sitting in April.
Yeah.
Is this April?
Yeah.
Middle of April. Dakar finished middle of January.
That's correct.
And Glenn and the team have been hard at work with some more developments. They spent 3 days doing some tests with shock absorbers, dampers, and apparently the word I had early this morning was that they learned a whole bunch, and they now know what they've gone. And there's a bit of a backstory with some of the tires and the dampers from Dakar, and they've now got that all things in line.
But there's some other South African cars over there.
Yeah. There's our other friend, Przgonski in
Yes.
the Mini.
Yes.
We've got to get that right. Mr. Przgonski in the Mini. There's 3 other Minis. There's a whole bunch of Toyotas. And there's
Alvarez.
Mr. Prokop in the F-150 Ford. and Alvarez in
The
and
Amarok.
In the Amarok. So there's a bit of South African influence there, and this is the global influence that the motorsport industry in Midrand, particularly around Kyle Army, has. It's unreal. Then,
Talking about that,
yes, Gary.
we got a big thing happening in Cape Town this coming weekend. I hope you're all going to be there.
Cape Town is going to rock this weekend. There's racing cars, there's parties, there's music, there's go-karts, there's food, there's chicks, there's guys, there's fun, and there's a half a mountain. So what's happening in...
What's this half a mountain part?
Well, somebody came in with a chainsaw and...
Oh, okay.
It's like flat.
Flat,
at the
like
top.
flat.
It's like half a mountain. I'm not a huge fan of Cape Town.
Don't upset our scribes down in Cape Town. You know these guys will write all sorts of things about us. Eh?
Look, if you're going to flush the chain, you've got to go with the rush of the water.
But you know
so,
what's
there's
interesting?
G&H,
Yes.
Transport.
Yes.
Extreme supercars.
Yeah.
Why are they important? Because they kind of GD3 cars at the front of the field. Why is that important? Because it's so awesome. It's unbelievable. There's an Aston Martin.
No,
There's
hold. It's the first time
There's
the
an Aston
Aston's
Martin.
going down.
Yes.
First time. There's a beautiful BMW Z4 GT3. First
from
time down there.
Gianrocco Mama.
Yeah. All right. They're the first times down there. So it's going to be interesting to see how those cars
Yeah.
go at sea level. Because they haven't raced at sea level before. They haven't been in the country long enough.
See you.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, hold on now, and the upset there
Yes?
is the Honda powered Lotus. And who would have thought
Mr. Jaber's Honda.
Davy
Powder.
Joubert,
Yeah.
he's a nutter of note. Davy, we respect what you've done with that car and how super quick it is. So it's going to be quite interesting to see this locally developed car that's taken probably 8 years,
Yeah.
9 years to
Yeah.
get to its current format. That thing is F-quick. It is unbelievable. So then we've got the Aston Martin, Arangis in the
Yeah.
Aston Martin. The sounds, anybody in Cape Town, do yourself a favor, get your ass there, go and watch this thing. It is magnificent. This is state-of-the-art GD3. Well, okay, so it's a year-old GD3. Then you've got the Angels in the yellow Ferrari.
Yeah.
On yellow tires.
458 GT3. Yellow tires. Here we come. Yellow tires, blue tires.
No,
red.
they're on the blue tires. They're on the Michelin.
They're blue tires,
They're on
yes,
Michelin.
yes.
And just going back to, just linked to the previous story, BF Goodrich are on they've got some new development tires on the Toyota Gazoo Racing Hiluxes in Doha, in Qatar.
Okay, back to South Africa.
Right, back to South Africa, you've got the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Who's driving a Lamborghini, Gary?
There's actually two out there, and the one I think is going to be Simon Murray. Simon, if you're watching, come online and just tell us whether your car's ready and when it was built. I know it's been prepared, but I don't have the latest updates on that. So if you get it wrong, guys, we do apologize. But besides the GT series,
Yes, Gary.
for those of you that watched the live stream from Kyle Army,
Are we going back to America now?
no, from the live streaming at Kyle Army,
Yeah.
and watched the GTC racing, probably some of the greatest racing we've had in South Africa for a long time.
This live streaming stuff,
Yes.
and we got production have been absolutely magnificent. We've been seconded to the SA Endurance Championship.
Yeah.
They've lent us out, so we're off to Cape Town to do some great things at the Hoffer Mountain for the next round of the SA Endurance Series.
Correct.
But this whole streaming thing,
Yes.
it's not only in South Africa that we're getting it
No,
going. And
no.
Gary, what is it? 80,000 views of racing at Kyle Army? Or am I exaggerating again?
No, you're not exaggerating. Within 7 days of the event taking place, we had 75,000 views.
That's a whole lot.
Subsequent to that,
Yeah.
we've had over 150,000 people have watched those videos online. So to all of those that you went online and watched it over and over again, we really appreciate it. It's been great. But besides that, okay,
Gary, they're filming another commercial here. That's the
don't go there. Production will get you. But besides that, what actually happened? And just to give you guys some of this, and let's try and put a couple of theories to bed over here. One of the biggest advantages of live streaming is you can arrive at a racetrack
Yep.
and you can go and sit wherever you want to. And you can watch the cars come past you. But the downside of that is you've got to wait for those cars, your favorite
But
fan,
you're-
another minute
But you
before
live
it comes
stream
past
it
you.
and you can watch the whole lot as well.
And all you do is you go down to your smart device, you can watch the whole track. So what happens, you're getting this great experience at a racetrack.
So there was a whole lot of comment about live streaming detracting from
Yes.
live audience. No,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
No,
it
it doesn't.
adds to the live audience. Anyway, so live streaming is a really big thing that we are trying to push in South Africa. It's a global thing. You would have seen any event of in motorsport of importance is streamed. So if you have desires or comments and anything that you want us to have a go at on the live streaming,
Yeah.
tell us. I just got to get my fingers right. And it's this finger.
It's in the,
Write
comment, it's in the comments below. Just a
Okay,
quick
hold
one.
on. Now we're going back to Cape Town.
Yeah, we're all going, but just quickly before we get there, Troy Cochrane, welcome.
How's it, Troy?
Bruce Turner, I hope your car's gone to Cape Town. We want to see it on that track. And he built that fantastic M36. And I don't know the full details, but I know that Bruce, if I give him half a chance, is going to give me all the dope in 5 seconds. Then we got.
We're waiting for it, Bruce.
We're waiting for Troy Cochrane has joined us. Thank you for having us. And to all the guys sitting in Germany, Australia,
Hong Kong.
Belgium, that watched the live stream, boys, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated.
Hong Kong and Holland.
Yes? That's it.
Awesome, guys. And the cool part about this whole lot is that we try, when we stream, we try and man the feed as well, so that if you've got any questions or comments, it's really cool to see it. The other thing about Cape Town,
No, we
Gary,
haven't.
Gary.
Wait. We only got halfway through GTC before we went live. Okay. Now GTC, those of you who watched the races from
Yes.
from Kyalami, these cars have all been repaired. The cars have been done. And
Hold on, and nobody was injured in those crashes.
Yeah, and you had a chat with a very important person sometime this morning. Give us some idea.
I had a
what
chat
that
with
feed
Gary.
was.
Okay, so Gary Formato,
Oh, I thought you were talking about me. Because I never got a phone call from you.
focus, Gary.
Okay.
Focus. We're talking about
TC, Africa.
I have
And
not
Cecil.
been shy about saying that the GDC formula is mag-frickin-nificent. It's like this, your girlfriend or a pretty girl at high school. She takes time to blossom to full being and being a magnificent beauty.
Are we
And
talking about
I
race
think-
cars now or dating?
I think that the GDC formula has got so much potential. The cars have now got 500 horsepower on them. I stood next to the track at Kyalami, and you can feel it in your chest. They rumble, they pop, they bang. They're impressive. Anybody who, again, if you work in a circus, don't kill the circus, because you'll just be an oak with big feet and a red nose walking around with nowhere to do. So I'm a fan of the GDC
But
things.
if the racing,
they're quick,
the racing was
they're
fantastic.
fast,
Yeah.
they're pretty close.
Yes.
In qualifying, I think it was just over a second that separated from
That's right,
first to
yeah.
seventh. They've got a push to pass. They've got all the right kit in them. We just need a couple more cars, and then everybody would be
I
ready.
believe there's a couple in development.
There are, and the word is that one of them would have been ready for Cape Town, but they spent so much time fixing the broken cars from this weekend that.
And by the way, let's just get this right.
Those crashes were strong.
The broken cars were because of crashes.
Yes,
Was not failure of components. It was not failure of engine or anything like that everybody's been going on about. The engines lasted. The components survived. Unfortunately, Humphrey had a big off.
yeah,
All
that
right.
was a bash.
And it was just
when he
a
hit Neil
sad thing.
Stephen, eh?
Volkswagen,
I mean,
Michael Stephen.
Michael Stephen.
That damaged 2 cars. So that was mostly body and chassis damage. That is repairable. The other big off was the spin with the Volkswagen and what's his name coming into the last turn.
Now, Grumpy has been working hard on those cars. Graham Nathan prepares the Jetters.
Yeah.
I did call them Passat a while ago. Apologies, it's a Volkswagen Jetta. They are magnificent cars. They're strong, they're rebuilt, they're quick. And the grids are getting really small. Cape Town, get out there, go watch these things, and just have a look. Just marvel at the speed and use your imagination and your positivity, and it could be cool. The other thing in Cape Town is Formula
Wings and slicks, baby.
And let's get the terminology right again.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what came over me when I was calling them something other than InvestChem Formula 1600. Wings and Slicks. And these are remember, the winner of this is on his road to Indy.
Yeah.
We'll get a drive in Murica next year. And is it going to be the Stewie White show again?
Where last year's winner is now participating. That's Julian van der Walt. He's currently participating.
And they race next weekend again.
Yeah, they're participating in the United States Formula 2000. All right, which is the road to Indy.
Yep.
It's a Mazda engined single-seater, very similar to our Investcam Formula 1600. And young Stewie White and them are out there to go and do it this weekend.
Bloemfontein, brother. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And Gary,
What?
I'm getting comments from production in the background there that we're running out of time and battery and lighting and I like this new studio.
Yeah, my battery's running flat too.
Wow,
and just
that's 'cause you're so old.
Just before you do that, and
Yes,
I think
Gary.
no. Last week, a couple of awards were handed out by the
SA Guild of Motoring
SA
Journalists.
Motoring Journalists, and I would like to say congratulations to every one of you that got nominated, and to those who won prizes. I think it was a fantastic effort to the Guild of Motoring Journalists. Thumbs up to Michelin that sponsored that. Big up, boys. Keep it going.
And who won it? Who is the South African Motorsportsman of the Year 2017?
For the third time running.
It'll be Kelvin van der Linde.
Yeah.
Look, we're not super close to the van der Linde family. We just admire brilliance from afar.
Yeah.
Well done, guys. On that note,
One last thing.
but hold on. There was one last thing.
Yeah,
so therefore,
no, but-
this is the second last thing.
No, but all these people in Cape Town.
Is it the one or the other?
No, what's going to affect people in Cape
Focus
Town this
group.
weekend? Okay,
It's like Shua, like the wind,
Like, yeah, like the
coffee,
Shua,
like
like VW
brew, like
is
Cape
doing
Town.
is doing talent spotting.
We do talent spotting all the time here, Gary.
I'm talking driver talent spotting.
That
Get down.
When he talks about talent spotting, it's a driver search.
Yeah. So heads up to Volkswagen South Africa. Fantastic job you guys are doing. Those of you in Cape Town, get down to Killarney race weekend. It's Friday and Saturday. Go and find out where Volkswagen is. Go and stick your nose in. Go and tell them you can drive a race car and go and have a test.
These are the
You
opportunities.
never know if you're going to be the next top guys that we got, like Sheldon van der Linde or Stewie White or Michael Stevens or Gary Fumato or Johan Fourie. You never know. You could be a Michael Steven one day and
Gotta
go never go to.
Back yourself if you think you can drive. These are the opportunities. And Gary, I've just got to say to Volkswagen Motorsport and in particular to Mike Rowe, the work, passion and commitment that they have to South African motorsport, thank you very, very much, and we admire it, and please carry on. And is that the last thing, Gary?
From
Or
me?
is there one last thing?
No.
Is that it?
Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you. It's been great. It's been fun. It's been
Ciao.
awesome. We love our studios. If you've got any issues that you'd like us to raise next time, drop us a line, give us a shout. Otherwise, have an awesome day and get to Kyalami. And remember, Killarney, Cape Town. Remember, support the circus.